Well, hello and good afternoon. It's the end of the year, and I'm impressed with what we've done this year, seeing as how the end of the year has quickly come upon us. Hopefully you have some data in front of you. I'll be referring to that throughout this presentation. If we're taking a look at goal number one, by June 6th, 2012, Bolich will have decreased its number of office referrals by 10% compared to the 2010-2011 school year. And I can honestly say I believe we met our goal. Overall, our detentions for the entire year have gone down 60.54%. Overall, in-school restrictions have gone down 28.84%, and our out-of-school suspensions have been down 22.15%. I've been impressed this year with the use of public school works. I know throughout the year there's been questions as to, with CFEA on our use of it, but I think moving into next year, our building is going to take a stance that we need to utilize this program. It's a nice tracking device of what students are doing, discipline, and it gives us some good data to see where we need to improve some things, where in the building, time of day, when things are happening. Our move for next year is to first semester continue through the use of the program, collect the data, and as we move into second semester, utilize it for more of Tier 2 interventions with our students, more of putting them on behavior plans, specific behavior charts throughout the school year. We started some of that this year with some of our students in the help of Jessica Moore, but I know we need some hard data to back up what we're doing, so we're going to utilize that for next year. Moving into goal number two, by June 6th, 2012, each staff member will have utilized each of Marzano's 9 strategies to improve instruction at Bolich Middle School. Throughout the year, the staff have gone through professional development on the 9 strategies. We utilized our staff meeting time for the first 8. And then our May staff meeting, we needed some time to talk about bullying, Olveus, and some PBIS things. So I brought it to my BLT. A couple of the members were on the Digital Academy and said, why don't we use Edmodo? It's an online, similar to a Facebook component for education. We utilize Edmodo for the 9th PD strategy on, I believe it was homework and practice, and post some things on there, have the staff get on, participate on it, but not all staff really did participate with that. That stemming from some discussion with Diane Claus stating that it's more additional work for the staff to be doing that during school time, P&C time. However, we did have 22 out of our 45 staff members do it, a couple of additional staff in the building as well as the 2 administrators here. So I was impressed kind of with the route they went with PD on that. What I can say is that I think we do need some more time with professional development for our staff. We can only do so much throughout the day, and I know we've been discussing whether or not early release, late start. I think any additional time we can get to really work with our staff, professional development-wise, looking at data-wise, as we start to move into a Plc Mindset, we need that time. As you can see from the data tracking chart, both Mr. Holtzapfel and I went through 118 walkthroughs this year. My goal is to increase that for next year. I don't think we did enough. We did more than we have done in the past, but I know we've missed some strategies that may have been done in the classroom that we just didn't see. One of the hardest strategies to really kind of implement in the classroom, other than science, is the generating testing hypotheses. It's one of the harder to use, but it is one of the ones you'll get a lot more better results from the students with. One of my pushes is going to be to really try to utilize that as we move into next year. Lastly, our third goal, by June 6th, 2012, each student will have made at least 1 year's growth in math, reading, science, and social studies, and if they have not, they will have been through our intervention, CAT, or IAT processes. What I can say is this, I've been impressed kind of with where we've been at through this year. Fourth quarter-wise, we had 85.53% of our students at or above benchmark level. And we're looking at A's, B's, and C's as at or above benchmark level. 14.47% of our students at below. Rough math is about 84 students there. Of those 84 students, 67 had gone through some interventions for those grades, and 17 students had not. I have specific names on those students that we're going to be targeting for next year. But of those 17, it's either refusal to do the work, refusal to come in for interventions, or students just not being here. The grades have been comparable to last year, but what I can say is I believe we have focused more on interventions with our students. We're going to continue with our interventions and enrichment into next year. As a result of our interventions and looking at the needs of our students, we have assigned fewer students on to grade level for next year. Students are either promoted, assigned, or retained. And like I said, we've assigned fewer students. We've dropped that number by 41.67%. We are only recommending retention for only 1 student, which is down from our recommendation for 2 from last year. And this recommendation is because the student has missed a total of 74 days this year. Hasn't been here enough to really give us an idea of whether or not he's ready. And there have been some attendance and truancy issues with that student, and so I know Pupil Services is looking at that, and we're working with them to figure out where the student's going and what's going on. But overall, moving into next year, one of our big things here is probably more time with staff on professional development. As we're looking to FIP our schools become more formative in nature, I honestly think we need to be talking with our staff about what are formative assessments, what are good versus bad, and I can see us utilizing Jolene Reinhardt from ESC, or maybe even some of our own staff in the district to really look at teachers' formative assessments and what we can do to utilize that. I'm planning on meeting with my BLT over the summer to take a look and make plans for next year. As this year's been moving on, more specifically this semester, I've been gathering ideas of what we need in order to head in the right direction next year. I've got charts across my walls here with thoughts and ideas, and I still need some time to de-escalate, relax, think things through, and then meet with the BLT. So we're planning end of July, first part of August to meet and really make some plans for next year. And my big push into next year is going to be this PLC mindset, the professional learning community mindset. Utilizing our team time, working with them to formulate their meetings, to make them more productive. Starting with the norms for the meetings, how meetings are going to be run, what's going to be discussed, coming in with an agenda, what types of data to look at, and then making decisions on that data and supporting the decisions that are made. We have a great group of teachers here, and I think my area for focus next year is to push them into more of the PLC mindset. I think it's possible. I think we'll see many more successes moving through next year and beyond, and I'm looking forward to it. So I appreciate your time. Thank you, and let me know if you have any questions.